Recently, Comedy Hype had the privilege of interviewing actor Christopher B. Duncan, most known for portraying Braxton P. Hartnebrig on The Jamie Foxx Show. In the interview, Duncan revealed that he felt pigeonholed in Hollywood following his memorable performance in the sitcom. The interview was discussed on the daytime talk show The Real, where Garcelle Beauvais recalled their time together on The Jamie Foxx Show. This prompted a discussion on other actors from the 90s era who may have been pigeonholed and started a larger conversation on typecasting in Hollywood. Today we have our Comedy Hype analyst, Vanessa Fraction, in studio, with Capone and Pierre calling into the show to talk about Duncan's interview, and we have to ask, how does one recover from being typecast? But first, let's take a look at this clip.
I'm not Braxton. I played Braxton. People in positions of power who can cast folks in certain roles, it's most upsetting to me if they say, well, we like his work, he's perfect for this role, but that's Braxton.
Have you heard that before?
I've heard that before in terms of the actions, clear about something. This is where it hurts me the most. What I'm getting ready to tell you does not happen in general if I walk into a room full of white producers. If I walk into a room full of, let's say, brothers and sisters who are producing this project, and I literally hear, as I walk into the room, "What's up, Braxton? What's up, man?" It's like a wrench in my gut. Because it's immediately saying to me, even though you're here and we're seeing you for this dramatic role, for this romantic lead, for this hard-hitting, heavy character. Even though we're seeing you for that, we just made it clear to you how we see you.
Now, I think there was a lot of passion during that interview, and I think when you look at it, it does reflect it in that clip. But I want to come to you first, Pierre. What was your reactions when you first saw that?
I can understand his pain. You know, no actor don't want to not work. What I don't like is the fact that the producers will call him in, and they already had a jaded perspective of who he was. So why would you even call him in if you just think he's Braxton? You know, waste this man's time, man. You know, you're not giving him the proper opportunity. So I do think that was really disrespectful. And he's an actor, so give him a chance to play outside of his character known as Braxton. You know, he is an actor, and don't make him a one-trick pony because you want, as a producer, or the people want to make him a one-trick pony. He's not. So I would say give him an opportunity, without a doubt. So I felt his pain. I've been typecasted as a handsome man. You know, I'm tired of being a handsome guy and all my stuff, but you know.
Okay, Capone, I want to propose that same question to you. What were your thoughts when you first saw the release of that clip of Christopher B. Duncan's interview with us?
I definitely felt his pain. But I was enlightened a little bit because, you know, being that there is such limited work for us as Black people, producers, actors, or whatever, and to see that, you know, he goes in front of Black people and they really like kind of like, you know, Jones him or whatever. And that's got to be a hurting feeling. Like Pierre said, you know, these people know what role they want you for. And they already got the person that they want. So why they even call him in to go try for the role when they don't think he fitted in the first place?
Now, as I mentioned earlier, the interview was discussed on the daytime talk show The Real, where Garcelle Beauvais, also known as Fancy, as well as the cast, were able to really dive into the conversation a little bit more. So I want us to take a look at that clip and then come back and get your reactions. Let's take a look.
During a recent chat with the streaming channel Comedy Hype, Duncan says that it's been hard to find roles in other genres because Hollywood only sees him as a funny guy. Now, what do we think? Have you been pigeonholed? What do you think about this, first of all?
I know him, and we worked together. We did 100 episodes of The Jamie Foxx Show, and he killed that character, yes. Braxton P. Hartnebrig. I'll never forget. And I could see it. I could see people typecasting him, but he has also shown that he's done other parts. But he was actually saying in this interview that he would walk into the, you know, an audition room with Black producers and Black creators, and they go, "What's up, Braxton?" And they didn't take him seriously, and that really hurt him because he's like, I'm not here for that. I'm here for another role that I want you to see me in. So I get it. And I just think, you know, as an actor, you have to keep pushing forward.
Now, I want to dive straight into this, but I do want to say I can't wait for this full interview to come out, which will be on our streaming platform, because I think there's so much more that Christopher B. Duncan does go into. But I want to come to you first, Pierre. After seeing the clip, what were your thoughts and reactions to that?
You know, again, well, Lonnie was right. When you're hot, you should take a lot of stuff. But again, you know, when you have agents telling you not to take this, what they know, they're looking out for your best. They don't really know. They're kind of guessing too. And if you fall in line and listen to them, hey, with Denzel Washington, it worked out right. But you know, maybe for Christopher, it didn't. He might have took some roles he didn't take. So you got to really, at the end of the day, believe in yourself and take your own risk and not always listen to your agent. And unfortunately, this time, he listened to his agents. Maybe he didn't take those, you know, heavier roles or different roles while he was quote unquote hotter, and so now he regrets it. And I feel for him, you know. So I'll make a little movie. I throw him in there as a bad guy, you know. Hell, you know. I think he can do it.
Yeah, and I think once the full interview comes out, you'll be able to kind of hear his point of view and how he handled that. But I want to come to you next, Vanessa. What are your thoughts on the clip that we did take a look at?
You know what I mean? Right. Show as much as you can while you're hot so we can really see all that you can do so you can be ready for that next role. So I thought the ladies covered that very well. You know, 2020 is a mug. You know what I mean? You can see a lot of stuff, hindsight or whatever. So as Pierre was saying, sometimes it's the fact that maybe, you know, you take a little less money so that you can actually show some range as another character. You know, there's, you know, you never know what happened, you know, for him to, you know, kind of be in that situation that he said that he found himself in.
Right, absolutely. Capone, I want to come to you as well. What is your reaction to that clip that we were able to see from The Real covering our story?
I feel that people should make gut decisions about what they feel or what they do. I don't think agent has too many artists under the umbrella to really pay you that much attention. And I just, from experience, when you hot, they all on you. But when you're not, they just try to give you advice to just almost like they don't want to let you down. Just, don't take that or whatever the situation is. But when you hot, they tell you all the time, oh, get that, do that, and do that. But those are gut decisions that you have to make on your own. That's the way I felt about it. And I think that I don't think it was great advice from an agent's perspective.
Now, I want to, yes.
So can I say one thing? Just being in this business for as long as I've been, people have to understand this business is unique compared to any other 9 to 5. See, this business, you can judge somebody by their height, their look, their color. You can do that. You can actually, too tall for her, too small. You can't do that in a regular 9 to 5. You're working at the bank or the gas company. You can't say you're too dark to work here, too light, too tall. And we, quote unquote, get fired every time we finish our show or our movie. We got to look for another job. If you work at the bank, as long as you come to the bank every day on time, you can work there for 20 years and retire. But in our position, you're always going to have ups and downs. You're going to have times you're working and you're not working. You're working, you're not. And it's a stressful thing. So like Capone and she just said, Vanessa said, you know, you got to take some chances sometimes. You know, you don't have to take a chance when you work at the bank. You just go work at the bank, you know what I'm saying, or the grocery store. But with us, we got to take chances. And at the end of the day, it's our career. We're being judged like that. And so, you know, I say take it out of the agent's hand as much and keep it in yours. And, hey, live and die by your choices. I lived and died by my choices. I said no to some roles that wound up being big. And I said yes to some roles that didn't do as well. It was my choice, and I had to live with it. And so, unfortunately, Christopher got to live with those situations right now. That's all I want to say. Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, just a quick piggyback, and shout out to everybody working at the bank as well, because you can get typecast as a teller. You know what I'm saying? And it is like, she just a teller. You're like, no, I'm management. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has to take these risks, and you want to do it while you're hot, while you're the new teller, and everyone's looking at you.
And I want to mention and I know a lot of us know the definition of what typecast is, but I want to just lay that up, and then I want to ask my next question. So typecast is to assign an actor or an actress repeatedly to the same type of role as the result of their appearance or previous success in such roles. So given that definition, I want to ask, because we're all about solutions, and Vanessa, and I want to start with you with this question. How would you recover from being typecast? Whether, you know, you've had to experience it personally or just the advice that you would give, being that, you know, people that may find themselves in that situation. How would you recover?
Well, first, I look forward to the opportunity to get multiple roles playing the same person. I really look forward to that. Whenever you want to do that, I'm here. Whether it's the angry lady, which when I did Barbershop 2, of course, it was kind of like, oh, she could play angry. So I used to get quite a few more auditions kind of in that angry space. face. But luckily, I'm a comedian. You know, I can smile too, so it's a little bit broader. As far as that question of how can you reset when you feel that you're being typecast, one of the things that he spoke of was going into certain rooms and them kind of calling him by the character name.
Right.
You know, you kind of have to have that opportunity to make that room and that time of audition your time and space. So you might need to reset. And so when you come in there and the casting agents or the producers, hey, Braxton, you're like, oh, I appreciate all that love, but today,
right,
I am whoever's on the, you know what I mean? And you state whatever the name of that person is and do it in character. You know what I'm saying? So you can just immediately go in being like, oh, that's not Braxton.
Right.
This is whoever is on this paper today. You know what I mean? So it's an opportunity to reset. And what the lady said on the reel is to hit it while the iron is hot, that kind of thing. And I'll spin it over to the brothers for their advice.
Capone, I'll come to you next. How does one recover from being typecast?
One, you create your own avenues. The sad part about this, and I probably get a lot of heat for saying this, is that we depend on white people to tell us what we're good at and what we're not good at. You know, I wanted to get you for this role, but you're not black enough. And, you know, this has been going on for a long time. And I just personally think that when you start to create, you know, there's different ways than Hollywood now. And I'm living proof. And sometimes you just have to take that risk. Like Pierre said, you got to take a risk. It's a risk, period. But to have somebody to approve you of what they think you should be is the first sight of you know, not being successful. That's the way I feel about it.
Right, and I think Lonnie mentioned, you know, she said there aren't a lot of roles for black people in Hollywood, so, you know, we need to start creating those at the time, right?
Because right now there's a lot, and there's a lot of outlets. There's so many different places in which you can even put your own stuff, as Capone was saying. So what happened in the 90s is not necessary.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. There's so many more opportunities where we're creating tables for ourselves. But Pierre, I want to come to you as well. How do you, you know, how do you recover from being typecast, or how would you recover from being typecast?
Well, first of all, that's very difficult to recover from typecasting especially when you play a character that's so over the top. When you play a character that's over the top, they can only see you as that. Now, let's say Urkel, he was so over the top. Braxton, the character Braxton, he was so over the top. When you play stuff that's so over the top, even Jimmy Walker, over the top, you know what I'm saying? It's hard because we can't see you playing anything else, even as that person. Let's give a good example, like Smokey, Friday, Chris Tucker. You can see him different, even though he was Smokey. You can see Smokey as a father. You can see him as a brother, as a cousin. Working, you know, you can see him working at the bank. Even though he's crazy, you can still see that. But when you're so over the top, it's hard to say Urkel as a bank teller, Urkel as a doctor. It's just so hard to see that. So as actors, you got to be careful what you take, because if that character is so over the top, you will probably be typecasted unless, like they said, you find other things. People thought me, oh, you're just a funny guy. You're a funny guy. I read the comments. They be like, nigga, you off the chain. Fuck you. You didn't realize how hard I come. You didn't know who I really was. You thought of me as the comedian. But now with Comedy Hype giving me my avenue, and Pierre's podcast on YouTube also, but giving me my personality, you get to see who I am. Like, oh, he can be an asshole. He can be mean. He can be crazy. He can be this. Yeah, I'm not just a funny guy who kissed Halle Berry or acted goofy on How to Be a Player. Now you get to see me in a different light. And I see it by the comments. You see this nigga come with that real work. I come with that verbal work.
I will say you use that time to Rick Ross's. You know, he's always putting out things. But no, I do think essentially, like, you have to recover from, you have to reinvent yourself. Like, as times are going on, or even with different opportunities, being able to reinvent yourself to be different, you know, to be seen different, especially if you don't want to be seen in that one light. Go ahead, Vanessa, and I can close this out.
Yeah, and in those moments for the creatives that are out there now feeling like they're dealing with being stuck in something, I don't like a lot of they're doing this. This is what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? You have to be your own solution. So if you start feeling like the industry is doing me wrong or all these, you know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of turn that around and say, well, what am I going to do about it? You know what I mean? If he's walking into these rooms and they're not taking you seriously, or this, and the third, and this is the first time actually hearing of it, you know what I'm saying? As all these years went on, as a creative, don't let that be you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and figure out what, you know, start thinking about what those solutions are while you're going through that kind of pain and angst.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, there is a full interview that will be coming on our streaming platform. You can go to comedyhype.com to get access to that. As always, I appreciate y'all for chiming in. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. How do you think one recovers from being typecast? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in the comments. I'm going to reread them.
For Comedy Hype News.
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 Comedy Hype News.
For Comedy Hype News, I'm Jay Will.
Looking for nostalgia? We got classic comedy films. Looking for something original? We got never-before-seen stand-up specials. Looking for funny, dope content? It's all right here at Comedy Hype. Sign up for Comedy Hype streaming platform at comedyhype.com.